Hi, I'm Shashank Bhargava, and you're listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. In this episode, we talk about a problem that prisoners in a Mumbai jail have been facing for the past 6 months. We also give you an update about the investigation into the Morbi bridge collapse. But first, we talk about the upcoming Gujarat elections that will be taking place on the 1st and the 5th of December. On Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi kicked off the BJP's campaign for the polls with a new slogan. In English, it translates to "We have made this Gujarat."
આ ગુજરાત મેં બનાવ્યું છે. હું કહીશ આ ગુજરાત, તમે બધા હાથ આમ કરીને બોલજો, મેં બનાવ્યું છે. આ ગુજરાત, આ ગુજરાત.
The Prime Minister said this as part of his first election rally in the state after the election dates were announced. In this speech, he also said that those who try to spread hatred or defame Gujarat would be wiped out from the state. Now, although he did not name the Aam Aadmi Party, his speech did try to signal to people that the Arvind Kejriwal-led party is an outsider and does not belong in the state. In fact, a lot of his other speeches lately have taken a dig at AAP. And the thing to note is that for years, it was the Congress that was seen as the main opposition in the state. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The party has been out of power in Gujarat since 1995 and has not won a single Lok Sabha seat since 2014. But even if we just look at how aggressively it has been campaigning and taking on the BJP, it is actually the Aam Aadmi Party that now seems to have taken the position of the main challenger in the state. In this segment, we speak to senior journalist Leena Misra, who writes on Gujarat politics for the Indian Express, about what the Congress party plans to do about this problem. Leena, could you first talk about how the Aam Aadmi Party has actually managed to showcase itself as the main challenger in the state?
So AAP derives its confidence from the 2021 local elections that were held in February, where it won 27 seats in the Surat Municipal Corporation of the 120 seats. So in fact, it became the opposition in Surat. So Congress was completely wiped out. And it also won a few seats here and there in other municipal corporations, but nothing was as big a victory as Surat. And this was a partidar vote. They won it on the strength of the partidar vote. So the partidars have considered to be a very loyal vote bank of the BJP. So taking away the partidar votes is a big victory in itself. So the Aam Aadmi Party confidence derives from that win. It's not a win in the sense that they gained power, but they became the main opposition in the Surat Municipal Corporation, which is a big municipal corporation. So that is when I think the party decided to seriously contest the elections of 2022 Gujarat Assembly. Although they did fight on 29 seats in 2017, but I think that was not a very serious fight. They lost their deposits on all the seats. This time they plan to contest on all the 182 seats. So yeah, I think that's where it derived confidence, and Kejriwal himself decided to lead the fight in Gujarat. Yeah.
And what does the Congress make of this? Because for a while the party had been dismissive of AAP and didn't really consider it as a serious threat.
So the Congress largely thought, that they have never been aggressive, firstly. Last time they came so close to a win, win meaning forming the government. 77 seats is just 22 seats behind the BJP. Plus if you add that one independent seat, which was on its side. So 78 seats, they were very close to forming a government. And there were at least about 16 seats which they lost by a very thin margin, which they could have, it could have gone either ways. So had they been aggressive, I think they could have won even in 2017. But in 2017, there were a lot of factors that, led to this sizable number of seats that the Congress got. Mainly the Partidar quota agitation that Hardik Patel led. And there were several other agitations. Several caste groups were very unhappy. There had been the Dalit flogging in Una. So the Dalits were unhappy. Then there was an OBC agitation because of the Partidar agitation, which was demanding a pie from the OBC quota. So all these factors added up to a lot of disenchantment among certain communities. Plus, there was disenchantment among farmers also. So all this added up to the Congress, getting a good number of seats. And it is believed there's an internal assessment that the party did, which indicates that the Congress got almost 47% of the Patidar votes last time, which was even a little lower than what the BJP got. So aggression is what was missing in the Congress. And this time also, there is no aggression as such. Last time, if you see, Rahul Gandhi almost did 4 meetings in Gujarat. This time, he is not seen at all. In fact, no senior leader, no national leader of the Congress has been seen so far, except for Ashok Gehlot. But Ashok Gehlot is officially the in charge of Gujarat, so he's here. And he's the common factor between the two elections, the 2017 and now 2022. But this time, I think because the AAP, it's not just, targeting the BJP. Kejriwal is telling in his rallies to people that if you are unhappy with the BJP, don't vote for the Congress, vote for Aam Aadmi Party. Now, that tone of his campaign has, I think, given them a wake-up call that, this is a serious fighter. He's not just playing around. We need to take this Aam Aadmi Party seriously.
Right, and the other thing is that AAP until fairly recently was only seen as a Delhi party. But this aggressive campaign in Gujarat is also coming after its recent win in Punjab. So I suppose that also makes a difference.
Correct. Yes, very much. Also, initially, the Congress would dismiss AAP as a urban party. So they thought that urban votes are all BJP's anyway. So AAP will only end up taking the BJP votes. But now, after these guarantees, the Aam Aadmi Party guarantees, some of them are looking attractive to all sections of people. So now that is worrying them. So they have started now serious campaigning. This campaign is largely quiet, but they have started. There's some ruts are moving around in villages and so on. So they planned, and then they have launched this Parivartan Sankalp Yatra, which plans to cover some 175 constituencies and so on. So as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, there will be people in the BJP who used to say, winning Delhi is no big deal because it's a city-state and so on. But yeah, after they won Punjab, they both, even BJP and the Congress started taking it seriously, and in Congress more because it was the Congress they defeated in Punjab to come to power. So that is how AAP started taking it into consideration here in Gujarat.
Okay, so now that it is seeing the Aam Aadmi Party campaign so aggressively in Gujarat, what does it actually plan to do about it?
So the Congress for the first time has decided to do some sort of booth management, which, the BJP is an expert at.
And could you just explain to our listeners exactly what booth management is?
So they will have volunteers at booths. So Gujarat has almost 52,000 polling booths. The BJP, since many elections, they have people at the booths who get people to vote. So normally what happens is when you see a person from a party coming to your place, urging you to vote, or even taking you to the polling booth to vote, you tend to vote for that party. So the visibility of a party at the polling booth becomes the clinching vote actually sometimes. I think many times. So if your party is not visible at the polling booth, the voter will say, ki, even if the party is not worried about itself, why should we worry? Let us give the vote to the party that is actually concerned and is working hard on the ground. So that is what the Congress has started strengthening this time. They have started an volunteer enrollment drive where they are calling up people who might have enrolled as volunteers, checking, verifying if they are serious about working for the Congress, asking them to get 4 or 5 people more from the neighborhood. And they wish to cover all the 52,000 booths by the time polling day comes. So this is one thing the Congress is doing for the first time. It's very late in the day, but still they have decided to do it.
And what about the BJP? Does it still continue to see Congress as a major threat?
So the BJP will always consider the Congress as a threat. As, Prime Minister Modi also in his speeches has said that you should not underestimate the Congress. There is a silent campaign going on. They may not do big rallies and all, but they are doing something on the ground and stuff like that. So it will never, write off the Congress. But it does see AAP as a challenger. So even if AAP gets, say, about 5 seats in Gujarat, it will mean that they have got a toehold. And I don't think either BJP or Congress want a third party in Gujarat. That is why I think Largely, Prime Minister Modi's slogan that he launched yesterday, we have made this Gujarat, seems to suggest that Gujarat is made by the Gujaratis. And Aam Aadmi Party, in that sense, is an outsider. So I think this is going to be the tone and tenor of the BJP campaign, it looks like, talking about the Gujarati Asmita, talking about the Gujarati pride. And similarly, the Congress campaign also, they talk about what the Congress governments before the BJP started ruling Gujarat has done for Gujarat. So they have these flyers which talk about the industry, the PSUs that they set up, the institutes they set up, and so on. So I think both parties are going to start fighting the AAP in the end. It looks like that.
And next we give you an update about the Morbi bridge collapse in which 135 people died, including 55 children. The suspension bridge had been closed for renovation 2 years ago and was reopened to the public on October 26, allegedly without carrying out a safety audit first. After the collapse of the bridge last month, the Prime Minister had visited the city of Morbi in Gujarat and had called for a detailed and extensive inquiry into the matter. In this segment, we speak to Indian Express's Sohini Ghosh about the action that authorities have taken since the visit.
So, since after his visit, of course, we know about the 9 people who have been arrested, which includes 3 security guards who were on duty that day, 2 ticket clerks who were also on duty at the time, 2 managers of Oreva company who were assigned this project of bridge renovation by the company head, and 2 subcontractors who were given the work of fabrication, a Surendranagar-based company called Dev Prakash Fabrication. So presently, all 9 of them are in jail, in judicial custody. Secondly, we have seen that the chief officer of the Morbi municipality, he was suspended, Sandeep Singh Jhala. And although there has been no arrest from any of the government authorities, more particularly Morbi municipality, we have also not seen any arrest of the MD of Oreva Group, which has been quite a high-pitched demand among other political parties, even victim families, many residents of Morbi city as well.
And Sohini, here could you talk about why the watchmen and security personnel have been arrested?
So the police explains it this way, that they were firstly not trained personnel, but even if you're not trained in terms of, say, crowd management or crowd handling, if you're seeing a bridge is teeming with people, it is overcrowded, the common sense dictates that you control the crowd, which is something that they did not do. Which also kind of makes sense, but at the same time, we cannot be fixing all the criminal liability on the security guards and not look at the bigger picture.
Right, and in the meantime, of course, a lot of questions have been raised about Oreva that was in charge of renovating the bridge. In fact, earlier also in 2007, the company was given a contract for its renovation. And what has raised eyebrows is that this is a company that is mainly known for watchmaking and it had no prior experience in bridge making. So what investigation has been done against it?
So they have seized documents from the Oreva company premises. They have seized documents pertaining to the agreement, the conditions, the work orders, purchase, payments, materials that were procured, etc., from both Oreva and the subcontractor company. The police, what they have found so far, some key aspects I would go over. One is that the subcontractor company, they did not have any qualified engineers. So practically, one of them, it's run by a father-son duo, and one of them failed their undergraduate engineering degree, and the son, he dropped out after 1 or 2 years of the engineering degree. So one question that has now been raised is on the qualification of the people who were awarded the subcontracting work. Secondly, with respect to expenditure, the police has found so far that contract was signed between Oreva and the subcontractor company worth rupees 29 lakh, which did not specify what all work was to be undertaken. It was just a one-page contract. So it was completely based on verbal communication. So say for tomorrow, one of the manager of whatever company who has been entrusted the project, if he says that you have to fix the cable, they'll do it. If they say that you have to fix the planks of the bridge, they'll do it. So it was completely a very informal kind of arrangement.
Right, and that does raise concerns. But even apart from that, one thing that we have heard is that Oreva had apparently renovated the bridge using 2 crore rupees. This is what the managing director of the company had claimed when the bridge had reopened. So what does the police say regarding this?
So we don't know exactly what was the ultimate cost that was incurred. Secondly, we don't know the specific breakup of what cost was for what. So that part remains unclear. The police has also called for documents and agreements and minutes of the meeting with respect to the past agreement of 2007 when Oreva was given the first contract to renovate the bridge.
And Sohini, this is obviously election time for Gujarat, and opposition parties have been talking about this issue in their speeches. Could you talk about the kind of things we have heard from them?
So, Arvind Kejriwal took out a road show yesterday campaigning for Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat at Morbi, but at a different block, not where the incident had happened. He took out the road show at a block called Wakaner. So there he did take up this issue of Morbi Bridge, saying that, look, what you have got after voting for 27 years for BJP. And if I come to power, we'll restore this bridge and make it a brand new, solid foundation. Yesterday, IMM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi, he too addressed a public rally campaigning for the elections in Ahmedabad. So he too took a dig at the Prime Minister because Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday also launched a campaign with a new slogan for Gujarat saying, I made this Gujarat. So taking a pot shot at that, Owaisi basically said that you did not make the Gujarat, but you made fools of us.
हाँ, गुजरात में एक चीज मोदी ने बनाई, वो है मोरबी का ब्रिज उन्होंने बनाया जिससे 150 लोगों की मौत हो गई। यकीनन बनाया आपने गुजरात को नहीं बनाया, आपने गुजरात की जनता को बेवकूफ बनाया।
So that has been broadly his take on this. Of course, accountability is an issue that is being raised by all the opposition parties, including Congress as well. Also, the police has been telling us that while there has been demands for criminal action against the Morbi municipality chief, a police official said off the record that technically, in terms of evidence, they don't have much to fix criminal liability. But yes, departmental liability can be fixed on, say, the Morbi municipality chief. And his suspension is probably one of the move towards that aspect.
And in the end, we talk about a jail in Mumbai. For the past 6 months, prisoners in the Taloja jail have been fighting with authorities over one particular issue. And it actually involves something that we all find annoying. Something that can keep us up all night and is considered one of the deadliest animals in the world. Yes, it's mosquitoes. That's what the issue has been. People in the Taloja jail are fed up with mosquitoes constantly biting them. In fact, when we spoke to Indian Express's Sadaf Modak, who has been tracking this story, she told us about an incident that happened in a local court last week that really illustrates this problem.
So there's this alleged gangster named Ijaz Lakdawala who has multiple cases before the Mumbai City Sessions Court, and he came to the court with an application that he had about where he was seeking a mosquito net. He is lodged in Taloja jail, which is on the outskirts of Mumbai, and he wanted permission to use mosquito nets in the prison. And he had made the application a while ago, but he wanted the court to understand the situation inside the prison. So what he did was he came to court with a bottle of squatted mosquitoes. He had squatted around 20-30 mosquitoes along with other under trials, and he had brought them to court from jail. While arguing about his need for the mosquito nets, he also submitted that bottle before the court to say that, see, this is the situation and this is the extent to which the mosquito menace is in Taloja jail, and therefore he should be allowed, access to the mosquito nets. The court heard his application and it rejected his plea, stating that he can use mosquito repellents instead.
Okay, so despite their repeated demands, it seems that the prison is not giving people mosquito nets. And this tussle actually has been going on for some time, right?
Yes, so this actually goes back to May this year when authorities at Taloja jail, they did a search of all the under trials barracks, and they seized mosquito nets which were being used by a lot of under trials. So what has happened is that there are a few under trials who were permitted mosquito nets by courts and they were using it, and based on that others also were using mosquito nets. So the new superintendent who was assigned duty at Taloja jail, he said that it is not permitted as per prison rules, and therefore the mosquito nets were seized. Immediately in June, a few under trials, including 2 accused in the Elgar Parishad case, they approached court saying that this incident has happened. One of them even wanted to file a complaint against the jail authorities before the court for theft. He alleged that he had bought the mosquito net and the authorities during the search and seizure had seized the mosquito net. And what happened after that was that the court asked for a report to be submitted by prison, and prison officials gave their reasons as to why mosquito nets cannot be used.
And so what reason did they give for not letting people use mosquito nets?
So their, submission is that mosquito nets are a big security hassle. They say that you need nails, you need a string to install the mosquito nets, and that is a big security concern. They say that prisoners can harm themselves or others through the string and the nails that would be used. They also submitted that regular fumigation happens in Taloja jail. They said that repellents are available for use in the prison canteen, which the under trials can buy themselves, and that other ointments were also being given to prisoners. One other issue that the prison authorities also submitted about was that they said prison is overcrowded and the guards would not be sufficient to, ensure that there is no security concern inside the mosquito nets, because it's a little difficult to see once mosquito nets are, installed in the barracks. So those were the 2-3 major concerns that they had, and they cited prison rules saying that, mosquito nets were not one of the items that were permitted. Based on this, a few courts rejected applications filed by under trials, and a few courts said that no, the need was genuine and allowed the nets. So there has not been one formal, consistent order by courts. There have been different courts which have interpreted their prison report and the law differently, and so as of today, I think there are some 4 or 5 prisoners who have court orders permitting them mosquito nets while the others don't. So they are constantly filing applications and attempting to get access to mosquito nets.
Right, and if mosquito nets are an issue, what is the reason that prisoners and under trials can't just use a mosquito repellent like Odomos, for example?
Right, so there are 2-3 things on that as well, based on what the prisoners have submitted before the court. One, for instance, Dr. Anand Teltumde, who is also an accused in the Elgar Parishad case, he has filed an application where he's saying that he's an asthmatic patient and the smell of mosquito repellents causes him difficulty in breathing. Therefore, he cannot use mosquito repellents. Others have said that though they apply repellents, it only, has an effect for a couple of hours, and then they have to wake up again and then again apply. And they say that over a period of time that the effect of the mosquito repellents also has reduced. So they invariably end up having to wake up many times in the night, and that really is not solving the problem. And even fumigation, which the court authorities have, even while rejecting applications, the court has said that, if this is an issue which is persisting, you deal with it. Like, make sure that the civic corporation is coming in, fumigating the premises, and other preventive methods are taken. But under trials claim that they are not really effective in the long run, and though fumigation may have taken place, it has not, been effective to that extent. They also say that the premises are really big. So, say for instance, if fumigation is happening on the outer premises, the barracks and the cells are still places where the mosquitoes do trouble them.
And Sadaf, earlier we have talked about how there are a number of different issues that people in prison face, including access to good healthcare. And you have also reported how prisons in India have become very overcrowded. So talk about some of these issues and how they are connected to this mosquito problem.
Right. So this issue about overcrowding actually, stands at the center of all of it. And this is an issue which is posing challenges both to the under trials as well as the prison staff in dealing with issues that prisoners have. So what happens because of this is that, the amenities which are available then have to be divided between everybody, including the prison hospital, the, medical officers, the staff. So the staff is invariably taking care of a lot more people than they are able to handle. That is one. Secondly, the other issue that comes up because of the non-availability of guards, which is something that the prison officials always submit before the court when other complaints are made, including how prisoners are not being taken to hospitals or they are not being taken to courts very regularly. So these are a couple of issues which come up. First and foremost is the health problem. Like most of the prisoners, if you see, they are constantly submitting about not being taken to hospitals. And believe it or not, but the most common problem that they all speak about is dental issues and how, they are in immense pain due to dental issues, and there has been access to hospital when they are in pain is something that depends on the availability of guards and their turn in going to an OPD in a public hospital. So these are the main issues that prisoners face when it comes to their health.
And how much of this problem not being addressed has to do with the fact that there is a lack of political will and even a general public concern for people in prisons?
Right. That probably does come from a general sense that because they're prisoners and so much attention is not given to their rights. And unfortunately, you can see that there have been reports, including one prison reform committee, which was formed a couple of years ago on the directions of the Bombay High Court, which had suggested many ways of reducing overcrowding, of ensuring that, this problem of guards not being made available is resolved through various means. That report has not been accepted by the government yet. So recently, the Deputy Chief Minister spoke about building more prisons in this city so that the overcrowding issue is reduced. But it will take a lot of time to do that because the place of, the land where the new prison can be constructed is still to be identified. So we're looking at many years till the prison is constructed and, prisoners are shifted there. And that will probably increase the capacity of prisoners even more. So, yeah, one can say that there is that sense of, not really looking at it as a very urgent problem. And that is something that also is an issue that the staff face because of the limited resources and general lack of urgency on these issues.
You were listening to Three Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was written and produced by me, Shashank Bhargava, and was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it, share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.